So one of the things that happens in a first grade classroom is that language is so important. And the things that children say, sometimes they're a little off, or the things that they understand, but they're just endearing to you, right? So I had this little boy in my class when I first started teaching, and he only had one eye. And his other eye was a glass eye because he had lost it in a accident. Somebody had a BB gun and he had lost his eye. So when this little boy was first in my class, his mother came to me the first week and she said, you know, my son only has one eye. Occasionally, that eye, the glass eye, will fall out. And she said, should that happen, that's not anything that you need to worry about. All you have to do is just give me a call and I'll come to school and I'll help you. I'll put it right back in. It won't be any problem. Well, you can imagine that I worried about that for a long time. I just kept thinking, okay, I hope we're going to be able to do this. I talked to my aide and I said, you know, if that ever happens, you're just going to scoop him right up and take him out and take him down so that he can call his mother from the office. So almost the whole school year went by. And one day, I was at the reading table, and those of you who were in my class know how the reading table works. So we're in this kind of kidney-shaped table, and all my students are around me. And he's one of the students at my table. And also another little student at my table was a very cute little boy who talked in a very slow manner, had the cutest little accent. So, sure enough, the thing that I had been dreading happened, and the little boy's eye fell out and rolled across the reading table. And, you know, I'm shocked. This little boy, he reaches down and he grabs his eye, and he goes like this to all the kids who are at the table, right? And so I waved to her name was Mrs. Hallis. I said, Mrs. Hallis, would you please take him down to the office and call his mom? And so she comes over, she swoops him out the door. He was like, you know, like he really wanted everybody to see that that's what it looked like. So so she takes him down to the office. The other little boy in my group, his name was Travis, he looks up at me and he says, Mrs. Leyden, that was the biggest tooth I ever saw. and when the other little boy got to the office, Mr. Polero was here then. He was the principal. And so the little boy goes into the office with Mrs. Hallis, and Mr. Polero's there, and the little boy's like, with his eye, and Mr. Polero was just all, oh no, this is very scary. Anyway, that's one of my favorite memories of Garfield School. I'll tell you about a time that changed who I was a little bit. So when I was in junior high, we were in San Jose at the time, in Santa Clara, and I had two friends. I had a lot of friends, but I had two friends. The girl's name was Eileen Tanaka, and the boy's name was Norman Yamamoto. And they were Japanese Americans, and I just loved them so much. And they were a part of the group, and we were together in school. I think I was there from 5th grade until my freshman year. And we were just best of friends, always together. In my freshman year of high school, when we got to high school, people just kind of went off and, you know, kind of found their own groups of people. Even though we'd been in junior high together, they kind of found their own groups. So one night, my friend, and so Eileen and I and Norman kind of drifted apart. We were in different groups. So one time, Eileen asked me if I would go out with her and her freshman friends, and they were all Japanese Americans. And so I said, sure. You know, that sounded like great. I didn't know any of them except for Eileen. And so I went to the movies with them, and they all had a background together that I didn't have, and I was feeling a little shaky about it then. And then afterwards we went to a bowling alley, and the bowling alley was filled with only Japanese American people, and I was the only Caucasian person there. And I felt small. I could feel myself kind of shrinking. And for the very first time, I thought about what it had been like for Eileen and Norman all those years to be in a situation where their culture wasn't the culture that was represented. But, and I had never thought about it. They were just simply my friends. And for the first time, I realized what it must have felt like for them all those years. And so that was a really good lesson for me. It stayed with me forever in knowing that diversity is really important. Knowing other people's cultures is really important. Being a part of other people's cultures is important, and not being afraid, and being willing to go out there and be a part of it. So I guess that would be a memorable one for me.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Diaz-Pena.
I'm Sienna Sanders.
And I'm Jackson Zapp.
Hi, my name is Kobe Kynock.
I'm Lily Genovese.
I'm Kendra Rivas.
I'm Kalila Jones.